Good morning. We are going full steam ahead into Election Day here on KXAN News Today. Coming up on the news at 12, we're looking at that and what Travis County is doing to make sure your vote is counted.
Plus, we are watching as we saw the front come through and rain chances now diminished. So when's the next time you could see rain? We have that coming up in your first warning weather.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Election Day. It is Tuesday. It is here, the countdown that so many of us have been watching over the last many months, and millions of people are casting their vote as we speak right now. Thanks so much for watching and joining us. I'm Erica Brennis.
And I'm Tom Miller. Now, if you are one of the hundreds of thousands of registered voters in Central Texas who still hasn't voted, here's what you should know before you cast your ballot. Polls are now open and will close at 7 tonight. But if you are in line by 7, you should stay in line. You're still allowed to vote. Travis County voters can vote at any of the county's 176 polling locations. In Texas, you do need to bring one of the 7 approved forms of photo ID with you to vote. So that includes a driver's license or U.S. passport.
You are allowed to bring in printed or pre-written notes inside of your polling location, but you cannot bring your cell phone or a tablet or a laptop or anything that could possibly take a picture or take video. And finally, mail-in ballots, if you can believe it, they have to be postmarked by today. The clerk's office has to be able to get them by 5 o'clock tomorrow. Unless you have a military or an overseas exemption. In Travis County, you can also hand deliver your mail ballot to 5501 Airport Boulevard today with a valid voter ID. You can only hand deliver, though, your own carrier envelope.
And leading up to today, we know the Travis County Clerk's Office says it's seen tens of thousands of people already vote so far. They're expecting anywhere from 100 to 200,000 more voters today alone.
Going to be a lot of people. Mercedes Hernandez joining us now. How are the lines at the voting locations looking? Are they long?
They've actually been longer in certain spots and seemingly no wait in other spots. Now, we do know before around 10 a.m. this morning, 30,000 people already hit the polls today. Now, we did hear from the Travis County Clerk. She warned that lines can get pretty long on Election Day. Now, as of the last check, most times were 0 to 20 minutes, but some of the longer ones where the wait was closer to an hour or more were Austin City Hall on West 2nd Street, Our Savior Lutheran Church on East Yeager Lane, and the Dan Ruiz Library on Grove Boulevard. Now, I love the wait time tracker that the clerk's office has. Now, we've got a link over to that and so much more in our KXAN voter guide up now on KXAN.com already. It's so cool just to watch the different colors and just, you know, there's a lot of activity going on everywhere.
Spot in red, go to another spot in green.
Yes, because you can vote.
Maybe
registered in the county, you can vote anywhere in the county.
Yes, a very nice perk. So election integrity, election security, these are some big topics going into the election. The clerk weighed in on that. What did she say?
Yeah, so the clerk actually responded to some claims made in a recent lawsuit. Now, a little bit more about that lawsuit. It's pretty recent. I mean, the Travis County GOP sued the clerk's office saying its members weren't being allowed to volunteer and wanted to replace some poll workers with its members. The Texas Supreme Court rejected that appeal just last night. Now, as far as election security goes, APD does have more patrol officers working today to make sure everybody feels safe while they vote. Now, Andy Hogue with the Travis County GOP says while voters won't know a workers' party representation is important in races today.
Accountable thing to do is to have a Republican and a Democrat at the polls. And no, you're not going to know who they are. They're not going to wear a red hat or a blue hat. But again, those of us paying attention, we need to know what to tell our voters.
Now, we know there's still hundreds of thousands of registered voters that might be voting today if they make their way out to the poll. Hopefully so. How many have voted so far? I think you mentioned it, but just remind me. How many voted in Travis County?
So many voters today, 30,000 as of 10 a.m. I'm sure that number's already climbed, but that was as the last check. But early voting's been going on over the last 2 weeks. That ended last week. And in Travis County, we saw more than 480,000 voters there. Now, nearly all of them in person. So those poll workers have been working for a long time, and their hard work continues today. There's still time to join those ranks and get your vote counted. Polls polls, of course, don't close until 7 p.m. And if you're in line before then, you get to cast your ballot, and can't stress that enough. If you can vote, get out there and vote, folks.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Mercedes. We're going to be following this all day, of course. And so we appreciate your insight so far. It's only beginning. I feel like it's still very early.
Oh, yes. I know. It still feels early.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. Department of Justice says it will not have federal agents inside and monitoring Texas polling and central count locations today. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says no federal agent will be permitted to interfere with Texas's free and fair elections. On Friday, the state of Texas told federal officials to stay out of its election process. It was in response to the Department of Justice announcing it planned to send poll monitors to 8 Texas counties today, including Hays County. The DOJ originally sent monitors to prevent discrimination against minorities. The Justice Department continued to send monitors to states of its choosing until 2013, and that's when the Supreme Court ruled that state governments had the right to say no to this, but only a few did until recently.
As a matter of practice, people have generally been fairly receptive to that because most election officials are kind of proud of their work and want to show off that they're doing it well. But as things have gotten more politically charged in our country about elections, the last couple of elections, a lot of states are pushing back on that.
Federal monitors visited counties in Texas as recently as 2022. This year, Texas, Florida, and Missouri told the DOJ, no, thank you. Stay away. And if you are interested in watching the polls today, you can actually live stream. Travis County shares a live stream showing its workers processing ballots. You can find a link on the KXAN voter guide to that on KXAN.com.
First warning weather.
And we want to take a live look here over the city of Austin, seeing more and more sunshine, not as many clouds. Some of that overnight rain was nice, although it might have woken you up. Big thunder boom here and there. But glad that that rain has tapered off for those going out to vote.
Yeah, there's some puddles that are still out there. And meteorologist Freddie Vela, also a big cool down underway. Finally, it feels like fall.
Finally, this is what I've been asking for. And, you know, funny story, when we were covering the storms yesterday, there was a little lull in the storms itself, and I walked outside and decided to see what it was like. People were already running with the cooler weather in between the storms. So it was interesting to see. We've seen the temperatures change dramatically over the past 24 hours. And notice where we're at now, 15-degree difference in Georgetown from 24 hours ago. In Austin, a 18-degree difference. In Lockhart, a 14-degree difference. Where's some of the biggest that we've seen? And that's out towards San Saba, where we've seen about 19 to 20-degree difference over the past 24 hours. Winds still coming in from the north. That's helping drive in some of the cooler air. It's still only 5 to 10 miles per hour, but we'll take it compared to coming in from the south and bringing us that warmer air. Clouds and radar, a big difference from what we saw just about 12 hours ago when we did see plenty of rainfall early overnight. You're noticing most of that those showers out towards the east now. A beautiful look out of Liberty Hill through our Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera with temperatures there still at about 64 degrees. Everywhere else, 65 in Austin, 66 in Fredericksburg, 65 in Georgetown, and 70 degrees in Bastrop. So what are we watching? Well, it is Election Day, so we have your Election Day forecast and what to experience over the next few hours. A chilly start to tomorrow. I'll tell you how cold it's going to be, and then, of course, another storm on the way. I'll have all that and so much more coming up in your First Warning Weather.
All right, thank you so much, Freddie. Austin first responders are going to have a new space to work in altogether. The city is moving forward with a new combined headquarters for the Austin Police, Fire, and EMS departments. The Austin Public Safety Commission discussed this plan yesterday. It's after City Council approved the purchase of some existing office buildings last week. The current headquarters for each agency are in different parts of the city, and they're deteriorating. The city says they also have limited public access. Their new home sits at the corner of Mopac and Barton Skyway. It's going to be giving staff more space and better working conditions.
It also creates an opportunity for really great collaboration amongst the public safety departments on a daily basis, and then also in those emergency types of situations.
The city bought the buildings for close to $108 million. It's going to be spending millions more for design and renovation. That new facility is expecting to be functional after a closing process of about 6 months, and then they'll have to do those renovations. And right now, there is no set date for the facility to be operational. Good morning. It is 12:13. A live look over at the Circuit of Americas. Just a few little puffy clouds left behind after we had some overnight rain and some sunshine and cooler weather coming your way. Freddie is here with your forecast in just a couple of minutes. But let's talk about today, Tuesday, Election Day. And Cap Metro is helping Texans get to the polls. The transit agency is suspending fees on bus, rail, bike, and pickup services. Cap Metro says it hopes to help people exercise their right to vote. Remember, polls close at 7, but if you're in the line, you have the opportunity to vote. So stay in that line. And if you need another reason to vote, you can get some freebies with your I voted sticker. Kirby Lane is offering a free pancake for showing your sticker. Home Slice offering a sticker swap for a free slice of pizza. I saw Trudy's offering free queso. We've got those who are 21 and older. Easy Tiger is going to be able to give you a free St. Elmo Carl beer for showing your ticket. And then Austin Beer Works, a very specific beer, but Austin Beer Works is going to give you actually a free pint. So how about that?
You can really get the party started with that.
I mean, I love that. I would be, if I had the time, I'd be hitting up all of those spots.
Yes.
But you know what? When I voted on Friday, early voted, they were out of stickers.
Really?
So I didn't get a sticker.
So what are you supposed to do then? How do you get these freebies?
Well, and as long as you can take a picture of yourself, like, I just voted. That will get you in trouble.
I did hear that the pizza line, though, from Home Slice was
around the block.
Around the block already, yeah.
You know, also, if you ever go there, they have really good sandwiches, like the Italian sub and whatnot. I mean, all of the list of those were great. Love Kirby Lane.
I'll take a pancake.
Love Trudy's.
I'll take a pancake, and then I'll go get a slice of pizza. Can I borrow your sticker?
Right.
Yeah, you can borrow it.
I have my I voted early sticker in my car. I wonder if that still would be valid.
Yes.
Yes, it would be.
All of those that we listed. There you go.
Okay, Kirby Lane, on the way.
You're coming with you. Yeah.
Now, I'm hungry as well. But if you still have to head out and vote, this is what you can experience as you walk out for your Election Day forecast. All right, so we discussed this earlier. There's plenty of options here, and I like them all. But the one that I like the most is actually that partly cloudy. That's right. That's going to be the projected winner for today, and we'll take temperatures at about 71 by 1 p.m. By 3 p.m., we're looking at about 74 degrees, and by 5 p.m., around 72 degrees. So we're going to peak at around 3 or 4 p.m. at 74, and then we'll start to see that drop off. We'll start off partly cloudy, which we're at now, and slowly make our way to the Vice President sunny. That will be for the evening hours. Here's a look at sunnier skies out of our Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera at Granite Shoals. You're able to see some clearing within this area, with the clouds still way far off in the distance. And I anticipate that a lot more of us will start to see that as well. Satellite and radar. Notice where most of those those cloudy conditions are, just within the metro area now, and I fully anticipate that that should be gone over the next hour or two as we start to see more of those clouds starting to dissipate. If we look at the rest of the state of Texas, all the activity still taking place out towards the east. Current temperatures at this point, 65 in Austin, 63 in Dripping Springs, 66 in Fredericksburg, and 65 in Mason. San Marcos, that sensor's down right now, but closest would be Lockhart at around 69 degrees. Kind of gives you an idea of what they're experiencing there. And over the next few hours, there goes the clouds I was talking about. 2 p.m., we should see mostly sunny skies. By 5 p.m., pretty much clear skies out there. And that'll last with us overnight tonight into tomorrow. I don't see any type of rain activity whatsoever, keeping that at 0 through the rest of the day today and into tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, it's going to be nice and chilly as we drop down to the 40s in the hill country, the low 50s as you get into the metro itself, and then out towards the eastern counties. So just keep an eye on that. Bus stop forecast actually keeping us within those cooler temperatures for the drop-off, and by the afternoon, we're looking at about 78 degrees. So here's a sneak peek of what we can experience for Thursday and going into Friday and going into Saturday. Thursday into Friday, we're noticing plenty of activity picking up. And then Friday into Saturday, we have another front that will come in. That front expected to clear things out for us. 7-day forecast will keep the rain chances at 70% for Thursday itself. Temperatures drop to 73 by Saturday after the front comes in. And then we slowly start to warm up as we get closer to Veterans Day. So speaking of rain, let's go and send it over to Rich Siegel, who has more on what we were received.
We were hoping for some 1-inch rain totals across the area with the rain that came last night and early this morning, and we were not disappointed. Before midnight, 1.79 inches at Camp Mabry, and then since midnight we have had another 1,500, so a grand total of 1.94 brings our monthly total to 2 inches. For the year, we're now at 26.79. That is still a deficit of a little more than 4 1/3, but we have more rain, as Freddie just said, coming on Thursday. Highest rain total was at Flat Creek at Pedernales Falls State Park, 3.99 inches there, 3.80 at one of the gauges west of downtown Dripping Springs. Another gauge at Dripping Springs closer to downtown with 1.93, and just to the southwest of there, Blanco at the Blanco River, 2.96. And our model was dead on with the amount of rain that was going to occur across our area. It had most of the rains from the eastern hill country across I-35, and into the I-35 portion of our viewing area, Georgetown 191, Round Rock 211, Austin 194, San Marcos 187. Healthy rains. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. On this Tuesday, Election Day, the FBI is cracking down on election security concerns.
It's established a command post to respond to criminal threats, foreign influence, cyber threats, and domestic violence. Washington correspondent Basil John reporting on the effort to protect the election.
With millions of Americans casting their votes, the FBI is ramping up election security.
This operation is going to run 24/7 for the national election week.
James Barnacle with the FBI says the purpose of the command post is to ensure the FBI is ready to respond.
The FBI is looking at all those threats that come in. Here in the command post, we're triaging that information.
Barnacle says the command post is already taking action.
So we've had information coming into the FBI in the last few days. Some of it has been maybe state or local matters, and we're just making sure it gets to state and local officials.
Election interference is already popping up in the form of fake videos on social media.
Russia, China, and Iran are seeking to influence U.S. government, policy, and politics for their benefit.
Intelligence officials also warn that Russia and Iran could encourage violent protests in the U.S. following the election.
Around the nation, approximately 60 National Guardsmen from 6 states have been activated by their state governors and state active duty status for election support, with roughly another 600 Guardsmen from 17 states on standby if needed.
The nation's capital is gearing up with fences, and businesses are boarding up just in case. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Meantime, Elon Musk's Political Action Committee is going to be still giving away $1 million today.
A Pennsylvania judge yesterday ruled the PAC can continue the sweepstakes through the election. Lawyers for Musk's America PAC said the so-called winners are not chosen by chance, but they're actually instead chosen to be paid spokespeople for the group. The lawyers said that the winners are chosen based on their personal stories and sign a contract with the political organization. The Philadelphia DA called the sweepstakes an illegal lottery and asked the judge to shut it down. Musk's lawyers defended the effort as free speech.
No district attorney, no prosecutor, I don't care how powerful they are, can take away the First Amendment freedoms that are the bedrock of this nation.
The civil lawsuit does not stop the state from pursuing criminal charges against Musk or America PAC in the future.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
With Election Day finally here, polling sites all across the country, they're open, they have been open, and some are seeing some very long lines of people already wanting to cast their ballots. Former President Donald Trump is in Florida after finishing his campaign in Michigan.
And Vice President Kamala Harris is in Washington. She spent Monday crisscrossing Pennsylvania, key battleground state, and that's also where NBC's Jay Gray is with the latest on the election.
Well, it has already been a busy day at this polling site, which happens to be the Museum of the American Revolution. So much of our nation's history, the history of our democracy inside this building. And on Election Day, they make history here. It is a place where voters come. When it opened early this morning, there was a line almost immediately. We've seen a steady flow of voters coming through here. A lot of people who tell us they just want to be a part of the process on Election Day. We know that there were so many early voters, so many mail-in ballots, but many of the people that we talked to say, no, they wanted to wait and they wanted to take part in the process on Election Day. It is a race that is really tight as we've seen in quite some time. The final NBC News national poll showing that both Vice President Harris and former President Trump have 49% support with only 2% undecided. Now, last night the campaigns ended for Harris. It was here in Philadelphia, a star-studded rally that included Lady Gaga, Oprah Winfrey, will.i.am, and her final pitch to voters was get out there and do your part and we'll win. It was pretty much the same message that we heard from former President Trump. He spent a lot of his time here in Pennsylvania yesterday, but wound up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, also a swing state, telling voters that they have the potential to win this thing if they can just get out the vote. So it wasn't so much winning over new voters or undecided voters as it was in that final pitch, just making sure that their supporters get to the polls. We expect to see the continuous flow of voters here. Lunchtime, we'll probably see a line. And then in the evening, once work is over, we expect the line to stretch very far. There's a lot of interest, a lot of people anxious to vote in this election here in Philadelphia and across Pennsylvania, and a lot of eyes around the rest of the country watching to see what exactly will happen here. In Philadelphia, I'm Jay Gray, NBC News.
Thank you, Jay. And here in Texas, Republican Senator Ted Cruz is fighting to keep his job. He's up against Democratic Congressman Colin Allred. Republican strategist Matt McCowiak says this race has been the most expensive U.S. Senate race this election season.
Look, it's a close race. It's closer than Cruz wanted to be. It's very expensive. All eyes are on Texas in terms of this U.S. Senate race. But in the end, I think the odds are very, very high. Cruz wins.
And the executive director of the Progressive Texas Future Project says she thinks the record number of registered voters could favor Allred.
Poll after poll shows Colin Allred in a statistical tie with Ted Cruz. And while early voting ended on Friday, we still have mail ballots coming in. We expect high turnout on Election Day, and we really expect to see an increase in turnout in our urban metro regions.
The Dallas Morning News reports both campaigns have raised about $170 million combined.
And going in depth, millions have moved to Texas in recent years. The state added more than 2.5 million voters since Cruz won his second term in 2018. He won that election by around 200,000 votes. So the big question today is, where are these new votes going to go?
Texas is diversifying relatively rapidly. Its Anglo population is declining as a percentage of the total population, and new groups, Hispanic and Asian in particular, are coming in. And both political parties are trying to figure out how to address those new voters.
Where the new voters are living may give some insight. According to the Houston Chronicle, the state has seen the largest growth in Harris County and then along the I-35 corridor, which are historically areas that have voted blue in recent elections. And as many people head to the polls, you know what? Some of these lines are pretty long, but then there's others where you can get right in. So make sure you go to KXAN.com. You can find a map with all of the polling locations and then the wait times, which is key. Like I said, some you may wait 20, some you may wait 45, but you know, some may 10. So it's worth really investigating. Yeah. And I've done that before where, you know, I voted early versus voted on Election Day, and you get through it, even if it is a line. You kind of know you're gonna have to be waiting a little bit of time, but got to do your civic duty, right? At least you don't have to bring the umbrella or the raincoat. We have that rain that's cleared out. Much grateful for that rain, right?
First warning weather.
All right, now, there we go. We had a little open there. We had to do our little jingle, but we want to talk to Freddie because we are grateful that that rain came through. Did it wake you up, Freddie? It woke me up.
It did. My dogs were not happy about it. And it's funny because I have a German Shepherd Husky mix. She's a big dog. She gets scared whenever she hears thunder. She runs for the bed. So she was able to spend some time with me. I appreciated it. She probably did not at all. Take a look at your election day forecast. 1 p.m. we're looking at about 71 degrees. By the time we get to 3 p.m. we're looking at about 74 degrees. As we get later in the day, you're noticing our temperatures will hit about 72 by 5 p.m. And by 7 p.m. we're looking at temperatures at around 67. And that is when polls close. We're looking at about 67 degrees, clear skies. As the day has gone on, we've seen much clearer conditions. Satellite and radar at this point over Dripping Springs, Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown. Still a little bit of cloud coverage there, but clearing out as well. That's the only spot where we're seeing some of the cloud coverage. A few out towards LaGrange and Giddings, but this is a live look out of Whittlesey Landscape Supplies camera in Round Rock. Beautiful image. More sunshine, and I expect that to continue over the course of the day today. Austin right now 65, Fredericksburg 68, Georgetown at 65, Bastrop at 71 degrees, a bit cloudier as you get down towards Bastrop compared to Austin and out towards the hill country itself. The next few days, though, a bit of a roller coaster. A great day for Wednesday. Thursday, we're looking at that rain chance picking up, and the same out towards Friday with the temperature drop as we have a front that'll come in. Not the strongest front in the world, but that'll at least help our temperatures drop just a tad. In fact, as we look at an extended forecast of the 8 to 14-day rainfall outlook, wetter than normal, and this we love to see. I have more on that coming up in your first warning weather.
Thank you, Freddie. Students and staff at a local high school, they're finally back on campus today. Manor Senior High School, these students, they've been home since Tuesday, October 29th. So when police say a student stabbed and killed another student on that campus.
And now the district is announcing new safety changes. Manor Senior High School sent out a message to parents through social media about its new safety plan. The school says that it is committed to heightened focus on security and will have an increased presence of administrators on campus and law enforcement across 3 high school campuses in Manor. There will be new restroom procedures to prevent congregating in the bathrooms, and students will be greeted at the front door with metal detecting wands and bag checks. Manor Superintendent Robert Sormani says it has been a tough time, but they're hoping to do the best for the students.
It's been a tough week. It was a week of grief, anger, and a lot of recovery. However, as we told our families, we are dedicated to ensuring the safety and security of our schools. We have a lot of new things in place that we have enhanced in our security protocols, and we are ready for the children. We love those kids, and we're going to do everything we need to take care of them.
The school is also increasing the availability of counseling services on campus through Friday.
The Kyle Police Department wants more access to security cameras across the city, and this is footage they say could help them fight crime.
The department launched an initiative allowing people and businesses actually to give Kyle Police access to their footage. KXAN's Sarah Alshay breaks down how this is going to work.
Security cameras outside a home or business can catch a lot, from something as innocent as a car driving by to sometimes catching something illegal. The Kyle Police Department wants more access to this type of footage to help with investigations.
It's going to enhance the ability in which we can solve crimes, both in real time and some that have recently occurred.
The department launched the Real-Time Crime Center. The voluntary camera registry allows residents and businesses to sign up their security cameras for Kyle PD to access.
We would request access, and then that camera owner would then decide whether or not they wanted to relinquish any footage, whether it's real time or, just a few minutes prior, to help us further our investigation.
Kyle PD says people who register online through technology platform Fuchsius have full control over what footage the department sees. All information remains confidential and would only be used for criminal investigations. This initiative, nothing new to Central Texas. Back in 2017, KXAN reported on a similar system with the New Braunfels Police Department.
If a crime occurred in your area, we know exactly where to go to ask, hey, do you mind if we look at your footage, as opposed to having to knock on every single door and asking, do you even have a camera?
Kyle PD says it's a faster, more efficient way compared to the door-to-door knocks they do now.
This is essentially just an electronic version of that, only we can do it much quicker.
Sarah Alsha, KXAN News.
Residents can upgrade their systems to share live video feeds with police too during emergencies. The department limits, though, the number of staffers who would have access to any footage. You can find out how to register on our website, KXAN.com. And another way police agencies are using technology is these license plate readers. Austin police started using them in March. The department saying this technology has helped identify and lead to the arrests of, listen to this, 2 murder suspects. And the readers have also helped recover stolen vehicles. Police in Round Rock, Pflugerville, Butte, and Hayes County, the sheriff's office, they're also using license plate readers.
The Texas A&M Forest Service continues to work and contain the Hudson fire in Bastrop County. Right now it is 400 acres, but at least 80% contained. And now local animals and those animal shelters actually need your help. Austin Pets Alive said it's working with the Bastrop County Animal Services to move 142 dogs that they say need to go directly into foster homes. The BCAS is the only animal shelter for communities like Cedar Creek, Elgin, Smithville, and Bastrop. APA shelter opened at 10 this morning, and they will be open till 7 if you want to help out. Hey there, it is 12:44. We got a beautiful shot from atop the KXAN studios. Love that awesome skyline and love seeing that sunshine and a cool down on the horizon. I have not been outside since 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, you got to step outside.
But I've heard it's cooled off.
Lovely.
15 more minutes and I'll be out there to enjoy it. And hopefully you get out there to enjoy it as well. You know, today is one of the most important days of America as millions of people across the nation are casting their ballots for the next president and, of course, many other races.
And for a lot of voters, this is not their first rodeo. They've been casting their ballots, in some cases, longer than most of us have been alive. As Noel Walker reports, with that age comes some wisdom.
It's me and my baby brother.
The photos are black and white.
Just quite an assortment.
But the memories.
That was yesterday, it seems.
Are vivid.
I'm 94 and be 95 the day after Christmas.
And I am 88.
Beth Winterbauer.
Okay.
And Chuck Morgan are seasoned voters.
My first election was 1960.
And now for the first opening statement by
when then Vice President Richard Nixon lost to Senator John F. Kennedy.
I brought people to the polls.
Democrat Adlai Stevenson and Republican Dwight D. Eisenhower were on the ballot when Beth voted her first time.
My father always encouraged us to vote.
Among residents at Juliet Fowler Communities in Dallas, civic duty runs in the family.
No major elections have I missed. Always people that would be complacent and just don't make an effort to get out and vote.
Johnette Wilson is a former teacher who used to volunteer for elections. She has some advice before going to the polls.
You need to study. No, we don't know them all. There's no way for us to know all of them. But we can know about what their beliefs are and what they promise us.
So, however we vote is how we're going to live. And not only for ourselves, but for our descendants.
And if you don't go out and vote, you cannot say a word about what happens in this country.
Voting isn't just a past memory.
This is my oldest granddaughter.
It's a dream for the future. In Dallas, Noel Walker, NBC5.
Oh, what a sweet story.
Some major words of wisdom, too. How we vote is how we're going to live.
How we live.
Something to keep in mind today.
Yeah, and something else to keep in mind is how beautiful it's been. Why do you laugh every time I try to transition, Rich?
It's perfect.
Rich over here.
It's perfect.
I try. Have you enjoyed the weather, Rich? I haven't even asked you.
Oh, I always love this weather.
Really?
I love the rain, and then I love the sun with the cool. I'll love the rain Thursday, and then we get a little cool down for the weekend. Perfect.
Perfect.
So perfect.
Thank you. Well,
now that we've done the forecast.
I know someone who doesn't love this weather. It's my pugs. They were very miserable this morning.
Wow, the thunder and
the
stuff.
Thunder, then the cold, and they just were not about it. Take a look at our Central Austin camera through the West Shore Homes cam. A beautiful look at downtown with just a few clouds left. I mentioned that by the time we get to about 2 p.m., most of the clouds should be gone. It looks like they're continuing to clear out, and we should be left with mostly sunny skies. Satellite and radar. Yeah, that's it. That's all the clouds that are left. Dripping Springs to Austin to Round Rock, Georgetown, cleared out towards the hill country, cleared out in most of the eastern counties except for getting into Giddings and LaGrange, a little bit in Bastrop, but overall we're starting to see some of that sunshine really take hold across most of the area. Current temperatures 65 degrees. I'm not going to get tired of saying that. 65 at almost 1 p.m. That's a win for me. We look at satellite and radar over the next few hours. Clouds not coming back. They're gone for the rest of the day today and even into tomorrow as well. We could see some fog early in the morning, but most of it should be isolated and spotty. Tonight's forecast, 51 degrees, winds coming in from the east-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. A few areas down into the 40s. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll be back up to 78 degrees. That's not bad either. Winds coming in from the east-northeast at 5 to 10. So you're probably asking me, well, where's the rainfall? When is it coming back? The best chance that we're going to have is Thursday. Thursday, we have another front that's going to come in. That one's going to become a stationary front. We have all this moisture that will flow back in, and so we're going to start to see a lot of those showers and thunderstorms pick up once again. Thursday, our best chance. We're giving it about a 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms, and then we get out towards Friday into Saturday. Here comes another front. That has a lot of drier air behind it. That'll clear everything out, and then we're going to be left with mostly sunny skies for Saturday afternoon, leading into Sunday, and even leading into Monday as well. So big changes ahead. In fact, as we look at your Veterans Day forecast for Monday, we're looking at about 80 degrees with partly cloudy skies on Monday itself. But then we look past that, and we do have a chance of rain, but that's for another day. Let's go ahead and take a look at your 7-day forecast. 74 for today, 78 as we get into Wednesday. By Thursday, 77 degrees. There's that 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms I was talking about. Friday, 75 degrees with a 40% chance of rain. Rain chances start to diminish as we get into Saturday, into Sunday. Unfortunately, temperatures start to head back up, but those mornings are going to stay in the 50s over the next few days, and that I can agree with. We're going to take a look at the tropics now with Rich Siegel.
Thank you, Freddie. It's Tropical Storm Rafael soon to be as it crosses the Cayman Islands and the western half of Cuba. Hurricane Rafael winds are expected to top 75 miles per hour later on this afternoon or this evening. It's a one through the Gulf, and it takes a northwest turn, but very late in this loop, it looks to me like it takes more of a northerly course towards the central coast of Louisiana. This is not uncommon. We have a 10% probability that we'll, 10% of the number of storms and hurricanes in a typical season. Since 1851, there have been 14 of these. 4 of them have been hurricanes happening in November. Since 1996, one hurricane every 2 to 3 years. So we're on track because the last time we had a hurricane in November was on the 10th of 2022 when Hurricane Nicole struck near Vero Beach. Among the many reasons that we don't see as much activity in November is because the waters in the Gulf, the Caribbean, and the Atlantic start to cool just a little bit. Cold fronts that move through our area will drive those storms in the opposite direction, and so they will not have any effect on us at all, thanks to some cold fronts too. And that's a look at the tropics.
3 dogs are back on dry land after they had to be pulled out of a pond. The incident happened yesterday in Manville, just outside of Houston. The Manville Police Department say they received an early morning call that 3 dogs were stuck in a pond. 2 officers arrived and quickly grabbed the dogs and pulled them to safety. Manville PD says they were given immediate care and that they, of course, were tired and a little scared, but they're now safe and sound with their owner.
Those guys are just trying to cool off.
I bet they went on an adventure.
First guy jumped in. The other 2 were like, well, he did it.
Might as well.
Yeah.
That's how most of us get in trouble. Oh, my friend did it. I'll do that too.
Exactly. Just trying to cool off. And now we don't need to go into the water to cool off anymore.
No, it's been nice and cool. We're actually on the countdown now, Election Day. Today, we have more holidays in front of us, in case you're wondering what it'll be like and how many more days we have. All right, Veterans Day, still 6 days away. Thanksgiving, 23 days away. Hanukkah and Christmas, 50 days away. And New Year's Day, 57 days away. Have you already started preparing Thanksgiving, thinking about what you're going to do?
Yes.
I need to do that.
It's right there. We're going to do like a nice charcuterie board. Hey, by the way, if you have any of your kiddos performing during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, let us know. Send us an email at reportit@kxan.com. We're going to send you back a form to fill out, and then that way on the day of, we can be sending your pictures on that morning. We would love to hear from you. We know there are some local...
A couple local high schools, right?
Yeah, I think a band, and then maybe
teams.
some dance teams.
Yeah.
So please let us know. We would love to see pictures.
That's cool. Well, we have a big night tonight on KXAN, so be sure to tune in. We have our normal newscast leading up to NBC's election takeover at 7. We'll see you back here for KXAN News at 4. Thanks for being with us.